Clock go. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Pastor Edward King, here again with my wonderful, what are you, son, family member,
all of the above,
quarterback, you partner, partner in ministry, all that kind of stuff. Pleasure to have you here again with us, man.
Thank you.
Hey, last week we left off with Milagro. We were talking about the work that he does with youth probation. And I wanted to, I don't think we didn't finish that. So I wanted to, maybe the first part, just kind of finish a little bit telling us what all you do and give us the good and the bad. No names, of course, but just tell us, working in that field, you know, I've watched you because you've been in it for a couple months now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched you grow in a lot of areas. You know, I've seen your did you know before you got into that field that you had a compassionate heart for kids like that?
Man, I always kind of gel with the kids.
Okay.
I never knew I would actually be in that field.
Yeah. You said on the program last week, you said, I might say it the wrong way, but I'll tell you how I heard it.
Mm-hmm.
You said you like working with the kids because you see yourself. It's like talking to yourself when you talk to them. For our audience that didn't see last week, can you tell them a little bit about what you do?
I just work with juvenile probation kids and just try to get them on the right track. So like most of them, they can't really relate to their parents. They don't relate to the teachers. Of course, they don't respond well to authority. So the probation officers, they don't do them any justice. So it's like you are the buffer, man. You the bridge to get them to the other side.
When you say can't relate, what do you mean? Okay, go. I'm sorry. Before you answer the can't relate question, how does one get in juvenile? How do they get in probation? What they have to what?
I mean, it could be from truancy,
Like going to
school. It's so many kids that's missed 60-something days of school, you wouldn't believe it.
How do you miss 60-some days of school and people aren't knocking on your door? 60-some days of school?
60-something days. I got one kid, for example. He's been held back twice because he's never made it to school 20 days in the last 3 years.
Never made it.
20 days. Because with the No Child Left Behind, right now, as long as they make it 20 days, they got to move them to the next grade.
You got to be kidding.
No Child Left Behind. But the only barrier is if you don't hit 20 days, they have to leave you behind.
Wow. What if you miss 20 days? What are you learning? I mean, you promoted ahead, but what if you missed that much school? What did you really learn? You can't, if you're not there, you're not learning anything, right?
I don't even doing this. What I could tell you is I don't value the education system. We could put 20 kids that graduated in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how many pages of a book they could read.
Wow. And why do you think that is? Because we want to rush them through and get them out the way?
But I feel like it always been like that for a stint. Like the star athletes, did they really have to do work?
I ain't gonna tell you the school or the teacher. There was a time when I was messing up in school. I would go down to the coach's class and just sit in his classroom and not have to do anything, and nobody ever really challenged me on that. But this one teacher, Mrs. Cheeks from North High School years ago, she didn't care that I was on the team. She didn't care that I was one of the stars on the team. She told me, she said, she played it so cool, man. She said, "You're not graduating." I said, "What you mean I'm not graduating?" She said, "All the messing around you've been doing." English class was the class that I was in with her, so I needed that class to graduate. She looked at me with a clear stone face. "I don't give a care who you are. I don't care about you being on the team. She said, "You're not graduated." And man, for the first time, it scared me because it's like I can't get over on this lady. She didn't care about North
How
being
fast
ranked
you
number
run.
one, how fast I was, and so she got me so smooth, man. It was like about a month left in school, and she looked at me and she said, I don't see how you're gonna make it out unless you do." First, she built me up like you ain't graduated. You've been messing around too much, and then the thought of being popular, whatever being popular is, the thought of everybody walking across the stage but me,
Being
it
left
scared
behind.
being left behind. It scared the you know what out of me. So but then she let it marinate for a minute, and then she told me, she said, "Well, the only way you're gonna graduate if you do blah 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 blah."
Mhm.
And for that next 4 weeks, man, I was the best student that teacher had ever had because I knew she wasn't playing with me in terms of her expectations of, hey, if you don't get this done, you're not walking across the stage. And she knew I would be embarrassed at the thought of not doing that, but she challenged me, and the fear of not doing it, man, it caused me to get my act together. And my mom, my mom was there. And my mom was like, at that time she didn't understand the work, so she said, "Hey, I can't help you with if you don't get it done, you're not going to make it through." So what's different then versus now?
Nothing. And this is why, like, Omaha always been superior in youth sports, but I can't tell you one good coach I ever met. Everybody, even to this day, I'm gonna have to go to a youth game after this, and I see all these coaches fail, kid after kid after kid, because as long as we could put up 40 points or score 3 touchdowns, nobody ever taught us how to be a good man. And the only reason why we were good at sports is going to be the same reason why we're good at being criminals. We had aggression. Yeah, I can run through 3 people. I'm mad at my mama. I'm mad at my daddy. I'm in poverty. This is the only time I feel special. And nobody ever even set us out. We didn't go to practice. We didn't do whatever. Nobody set us out the game because y'all knew y'all could get 3 touchdowns out of it. So it's like, I want to coach youth sports bad, but I'm going to be Coach Carter. I want you to be a good man. I don't care about winning the game. All of you coaches care too much about winning.
Nowadays. But
Even when you were coaching.
But I'm gonna get you said something to me for those who don't know, Milagro, he played on one of my teams years ago, and he said he hit me in the stomach with his observation of me as a coach. We're gonna deal with that in a minute. Players, they ain't having that nowadays. It is all about. I'm just telling you. It is all about winning. I don't want to hear you teaching me lectures on life and teamwork. Nowadays, even with college, if the player has the control.
Yeah.
If you don't do what I want, I'll just transfer to another school. And it's down with high school too. How would you, and it's going to tie back into youth probation, how are you going to instill that discipline to where there's no accountability anymore? You start yelling at little Johnny. Little Johnny at 16 years old, little Johnny already know he got scouts coming to watch him. So what are you really going to do as his coach, really going to do and say to him that's really going to make an impact?
I tell him, either you take me yelling at you now, or take the warden yelling at you, because you don't have a choice then. Somebody gonna yell at you.
So you saying, coach, and he says to you that, hey, or I put it like this, what I've seen even on the smaller level, his people around you, the people around little Johnny, are saying to you, you don't know what you're talking about. You just one of many coaches. I can take him away from you and put him over here, and they'll cater to him. They'll buy him shoes. They'll do all that kind of stuff.
And 95% of them fall in the trap. But what I would do, I take him and his people to the liquor store. You see that wino right there? He was you.
He was you. Oh, that's deep.
Omaha full of unsung heroes. People don't know how many legends walk around here. But guess what the kids calling them? A crackhead, a drunk. They don't know who we know he was.
Your brother-in-law, you have a brother-in-law that's been coaching basketball for years.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about him and what you admire about what he does.
You know what, man? I think he got the one of the greatest juvenile stories, and who he is today. It's amazing. he really is the testament, man, that God is real.
Tell us a little bit about it. For
I
those that
mean,
don't
he
know.
got his program is Omaha Pressure.
Omaha
I mean,
Pressure.
one of the most elite youth programs in the city. And it's funded straight off of the community. And it was just a passion and the idea he had that he went forward with. And he got some of the best ball players you'll see on the court. He's even doing girls now.
I've heard a lot of good things about him and the kids wanting to play with him. Before I get to the logistical part of how much it costs and all that stuff, your brother-in-law, we talked about this before, was a player of mine. I knew him when he
first
was
quarterback?
He was my first quarterback, and I knew a angry kid. Whenever things, I mean, he literally. Don't tell him I said this. He watching TV. When things didn't go his way, he would start crying. He would get so mad that he would start crying. He would throw a fit, and then we would have to calm him down. But I said, I didn't know his family story, anything like that. All I knew was that he was down at it was the boys club at the time. He was down at the boys club, and as long as things were going good, he was okay. But I noticed when there was ever any adversity, at that time he would struggle with it. And I would always have to remind him. I said, "Man, you a leader. I see a lot in you, and that kind of thing." And I don't know if he believed me in the beginning, but to hear the program and things that he's doing now with the kids, it's just amazing to me to hear that. Right now, how many years have they been involved in that? And what do you have to do if you had a kid, if someone's watching and they said, "Okay, I want my kid to be a part of that program," what would they have to do?
He promotes a lot on Facebook and stuff. And I mean,
What's the age group?
Man, he got so many. I think I honestly couldn't even tell you, but I think he's third to like eighth.
Okay.
Right now.
Third, eighth grade. And we've talked about this before on the program, that the men of the community and women of the community, that if you want to make a difference in the lives of the kids in our community, one of those ways of doing that is getting involved with our youth, even in that area of sports and those type of, being a mentor and those type of things. Let me go back to the coaching thing that you had said. You said we're not giving them, I think you said a couple of months ago, we're not truly giving them true values, discipline. You said about our team. You said our team, we had all the stars on our team, and it didn't hit me until you said, and this was like junior high age group at that time, where they junior high football, they had stopped it for a while. So like the boys club, places like the Hope Center, that middle school group, those leagues where we had a league. And so winning, I mean, let's be real, it was win at all costs. That's the way it was. And so a lot of the players during that era where we played, a lot of the good players ended up on one team. And you said you didn't think it was a good idea that all the good players were on one team because it hurt them more than it helped them. I want you to speak to that.
Okay. It's kind of like what we're dealing with in the community. If you could just skate through life, you never know who you is when the challenge come up.
Say that again, man. I have to say that again.
If you just skate through life, you never know who you are when the challenge come up. So they just cave. Because honestly, I saw on that one team, it was 10 of the best players in the city. Not in that league, in the city. They could be grown men. But then it was like, all right, it was so easy. They all on the same team. They didn't have to compete against each other. So imagine when everything was handed to them. So when they go to high school and it's a kid that's just as strong as them, just as fast as them, they can't even take the pressure of competing with him for the job.
So you're saying that they would have been better off in the long run if they had that, learning how to deal with that opposition. Well, it's not opposition, but that deal with that competitiveness, that the value of winning and losing, working hard, competing hard, listening to your coaches, all those things, versus beating somebody 56 and nothing every week. That didn't really teach them anything like that. Okay.
Even like Let's take boxing, for example. When you were coming up, Muhammad Ali and them took losses. Y'all respected them still, and they got back to winning.
Right.
Now, you 40-0. If they lose one time, people say they washed up. They need to retire.
That's a good point.
Well, all the greats lost.
That's a good point. Watching Ali growing up, you too young to remember
Yeah.
watching Ali live, but watching Ali, one of the greatest things was the pain of seeing him lose, but the joy in watching him come back and win.
George Foreman.
Yeah, all of them. So the spoiled attitude, back to the attitude about the kids. So youth probation, they commit a crime or they do something wrong or not going to school, for everything from not going to school to committing whatever, violent crime, drugs, whatever. They enter into youth probation. What happens after that?
Man, honestly, the system is a joke to me.
You said that before too. Explain what
I can't tell you they're looking for them to be successful.
It sounds weird to hear that.
Now I see why recidivism is so high. It's like once you get in that trap, the challenge is getting yourself out of it. Because it's easy to repeat and do these things. I feel like the human is only scared of the unknown. Like people could scare you with jail if you've never been to jail. But how could you scare a man that already been to jail? Okay, I'll go back. Just like, kids, their first day of school is scary to them. But then you got some kids who can't wait for the summer to be over to get back in school because they already been. So you only scared of what you don't know.
When you say the system, the juvenile system, I hear a lot about that. Why do you think it's broke?
Number one, it's like even older people, I laugh at them when they say things because y'all think of the older times. Do you know you can't even punish your kid? The kid has all the power in the house. And these kids are different like that. They have no problem calling the police on their parents. It's a game. They know they have all the power. What could you do? You can't punish. So you see kids with missed 63 days. Yeah, that's hard for you to fathom, but what could the parent do?
What can you do?
Exactly.
63.
They have all the power, but you can't whoop them. You can't force them. Like some of them kids, I honestly know and I've seen with my own eyes. The parent is getting up, they're taking them to school, but you got the kid jumping out the car. What are they to do?
Jumping out of the car, going where, doing what?
They'll walk off. It's certain kids, they'll tell you, yeah, I went to school. Their parent dropped them off at school, but they get on the city bus because if you're school age, you ride the city bus for free.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
So they'll just go in the front door, walk out the side door, and just ride the bus all day till school hours is up.
So doing what you do and the group of people that work with you, what's the joy in what you do? Because I know that, like, when I've heard you talk about that, the frustration of trying to help someone who don't really want to help themselves, who don't really want more. We talked about hopelessness several months ago. What keeps you pushing? What keeps you?
You know what? Being the light. Like, and you know personally, I just brought a kid to you and you asked him, what is it being to have Mr. Spencer in your life?
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? He gets me out the house. He got me motivated to do jobs. He said, before him, I literally was sitting at home doing nothing. And it's like, I see these kids who've been on probation for 2 years. They get with me. I get the joy of seeing them pass their first drug test. Showing them how to do job application, just showing them, man, it's to be a man, it's not just to say I'm a man. You have to be a man. And they come with responsibility and sacrifices. And you know what? A huge part of being a man is being able to take no. Because you're going to hear no in life. So sometimes I say no to them just to
Just
so they
to
can
get
hear it.
back to that football team that had everything and they got to high school and they couldn't succeed because they never learned how to lose and never learned how to take no. The biggest frustration. What's the biggest frustration for you watching them interacting with
You know
the
what?
kid?
It's one thing about kids, they smart. So if me, the parent, is not on the same page, I'm gonna play the game.
You gonna play the game? Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna play the game. It's like even a kid who's never heard that they were smart at home, you telling them that they smart, they kind of think you run a game on them. I don't hear this at home. Why do you think?
Yeah.
Or they might even think you trying to hit on them or some weird stuff. Like
Yeah.
you telling me, you pouring into me, man, I don't know you.
They don't know you. Or if you're not hearing it at home, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's like, man, what is this dude motive? Why do he care? You know how many times I heard that?
Why do you care?
Man, why you care about me?
Where back in the day, which I hate referring back in the day, that was the culture. You took care of your kids and you brought other kids in too to let them know that, hey, we care, we want to see you succeed, and all those things. Wow, that's interesting. Girls and boys both, y'all see in juvenile probation from your experience, is it an equal amount?
Oh, yeah.
Of girls? Wow.
Yeah.
What issues are the girls having?
I only know from third party
Yeah.
source,
Yeah.
but same thing. They just don't want to connect with their mom, or they just don't. And it's just too many. It's two generations stuck in their own ways.
What you mean by that?
Like the older people don't even have the vision to see what's going on these days. So they keep talking about their time, how it was. And then these kids, they don't relate to them dinosaur years.
Them dinosaur years from 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, but that's dinosaur to them.
Yeah.
Because they was born in 2010.
Yeah.
So they don't want to hear about the 90s.
They don't want to hear about them. The 90s don't exist. They don't know who Michael Jordan was in the 90s, but they wear the shoes. They know the shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to jail, how do you feel when they go back to jail? And do you feel like and I know you, but do you feel like you let them down? Do you feel like you did all you could and it's pretty much their choice of, hey, I spent 6 months with you and you didn't want to change. You kept using or you kept doing stuff to get you in trouble. You go back to jail. What does that do to you when that happens?
May I look at it differently? I seen jail save people's life or extend their life. Because some of these dudes, if they was in the streets, they'd be dead. So jail spared them.
Going to jail, I've heard that before. Going to jail for some really saved their life. You said extend their life.
Extend their life.
I like that better.
Extend their life.
What would you, in our remaining, we got a few minutes left, what would you say to the parents of those kids? If you had, we talked about this before, if you had a auditorium full of parents and they brought Mr. Spencer up on the stage and they were talking about juvenile probation and there was one message that you could give to the parents, what would that message be? I know that's a loaded question, but what would you say to the parents? You had said that to me a while ago. You said, hey, I want to talk to the parents.
Yeah,
I think we ended on the last show. You were saying about you alluded to that a little bit, but I wanted to give you a little bit more time to flesh that out.
All I would tell the parent is to be transparent, because when we look at our mom and our dad, we forget they was a boy and a girl too. So they never claimed to be God. We put them on that pedestal. So what I would tell you is, you doing your job. Like all you could do is plant the seed. Life is about choices. And I don't care if my son is the president or he's doing life in prison. I'm not taking no blame for his choices.
You're not, as a parent, you're not taking the blame.
No.
A lot of people would go against that statement.
And they could, but that's why everybody is stuck. You see people 40, 50, 60 years old still blaming their parents. Yeah. You made them choices. Like I asked my kids, I say, the probation kids, I don't want to hear nothing about your mom or dad. Because when they tell you the right thing, do you listen? Most of the time I don't. So they're not responsible for your choices. So do not take the blame.
Wow.
As a man or a woman, you got to make a choice. God, that was the ultimate power he gave man. Choice.
The ability to choose. Yeah. Once they get so far gone, do the parents feel like that's it? I'm failed, or I give up, or do you have parents that gets in the mud with you to fight for their kids to get their lives together?
I see both.
You see both. Yeah.
I see both, but it still comes down to choice. And I'm not taking no blame for my child choice. Just like me, I don't blame my mom or dad for nothing. How could I? I made the choice.
But don't you believe or see that sometimes the what they model in front of us is important, and sometimes we pick up on what's modeled before us. You know,
We definitely do.
Do you believe if you see different, you choose different?
I think it's all about, who you
Your
idolize.
ultimate choice. It ultimately come down to you. I get that. But then they would talk, man, shoot, our time.
But I believe this is all taught behavior. I don't think no kid come in this world bad or
Right, I
good.
can see that.
It's all taught behavior. And your normal is not necessarily their normal.
They're normal. Y'all, our time is up. Oh, it went by so quick. We'll hopefully pick this up again on the next program. Pastor King, this is Milagro. We want to say thank you for watching Real Talk. And until next week, remember, we walk by faith, not by sight. God bless you.